are back again for another wonderful interview, and of course I have another wonderful great guest. And today I have the Quirky Bombshell, the writer, the fashion writer of Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, Miss Lady.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you.
No, you are so welcome. Thank you for coming to the Funky J. We are so delighted to have you today.
I'm delighted to be here.
Good, thank you. Now I know you're a very busy person, so I'm not going to hold you too long, but I do want my fans and guests to know a little bit more about you. So tell us, are you from Atlanta?
Well, actually, I'm honestly not going to claim that, but I've been living here since the 80s. Moved here when I was maybe 8 years old.
Wow.
So I think I can say I'm an official peach.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I say I'm a peach. This has been 2005.
Oh, okay.
The 80s, yeah.
Yes, you are acclimated.
Yeah, I'm here. Well, that's great. So what was it like? How has it changed since you've been here that long?
Oh my goodness. To me, I honestly feel like it's just getting better. So many more opportunities, so many different aspects of Atlanta, the history, the opportunity, like I said, the industry is growing, so many different industries. Of course, everyone knows Atlanta for the entertainment industry. So I think it's definitely a great place to be.
Okay.
A lot of great prospects. So yeah, I feel like it's getting better.
So what side of Atlanta did you grow up on?
I grew up in Gwinnett.
Okay.
Norcross.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice area. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So tell me a little bit about you. How did you start this fashion?
Oh, well, I went to AIU in Buckhead when it was in Buckhead. And then I took advantage of their international program.
Oh.
They had a campus in London, England. And so I definitely went there. And my degree is in fashion design. But the only reason why I took that program is to understand fashion in its entirety. I wanted to understand the fabric, how things were made, production, marketing, everything. But I always knew that I'd be a writer. But I just loved fashion. Ever since I was a little girl, my mother, she was a seamstress. And so I got to go with her on little trips for fabric, things for her sewing machine. I saw how she interacted with clients that she sewed for, and I would write about it in my journal. And so what I did was I took it and started a career because I just love fashion. I'm a writer, I can write about anything, but I specifically only wanted to write about fashion because I didn't want to be a jack of all trades. I wanted to be a master of fashion writing, and that's what I've become.
I like that. I like that. So what is it that draws your passion towards fashion?
You know what? It's because I get bored easily. And with the fashion industry, it's ever changing. It's always changing. It's always something new. It's always someone new entering the game. And I like that. I like being active. I like combining it now with technology, with the elevating pace of the e-commerce world, m-commerce. Almost 90% of shopping in the United States is done via your phone. And so everything is going online. Of course, you know, technology is always changing. They can't even really make magazines. So everything usually is online in forums or on webzines. And I like that. Okay, technology is fast-paced, and so is fashion. And so you're combining both of them. I'll never be bored.
That's okay. I like that. That's cool. So how does this go about? Because I like to write. I'm a writer, but I don't know, when you say you like to implement fashion into it, do you go to certain venues? Do you look at what's happening? Do you write about what's trending, what's not? Are you creating new trends? How is your platform created?
I'd say all of the above.
Really? Okay.
Basically, what you want to do is start with what you're most passionate about.
Okay.
Fashion has a lot of aspects. I just love trends. I love seeing the new trends. I love trend forecasting. Since I'm alumni from my college, one of the perks is I still get access to the library. I still get to see the trend forecasting reports. They're usually at least a year ahead, if not two. And so I get to see firsthand what's going to come out or what the designers are thinking. They get the trends from these trend forecasting companies and then they implement it. They transform it into their brand. And so I know around what to expect, but of course you won't be able to see the result until Fashion Week or a trade show. And so, like, going back to what you asked, how to start, just start with what you love the most about your industry or the industry you want to write about.
Okay.
Even if you didn't do fashion, if you were doing restaurants. Okay, well, let's start with your favorite type of restaurant. Maybe you like soul food. Maybe you like French cuisine. You know, start with that and then let the paths unfold for you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's neat. That's neat. So do you travel a lot now?
Well, I would say this year I'm not going to Fashion Week, but I usually frequent shows here in Atlanta if I can.
Okay.
It depends on my schedule. And also if I can get a hold of a photographer, because I do go under media press credentials.
Okay.
And I do write about the shows that I go to. I don't just go and sit and have a good time, because I understand how important it is, marketing,
Yeah.
to the designers or whatever cause, charity it is. And so of course I make sure that I post and then I do a write-up and then I take pictures as best as possible. I'm not a photographer, but yes, I make sure that I do diligence and I, as a writer, pay my dues.
Okay. Okay. Now, speaking of that, you typically really don't need a photographer if you got a good phone
Mm-hmm.
and some good filters. But I understand exactly what you mean, though. So that's cool. So have you ever been to Fashion Week in New York?
No, not yet.
No,
I
okay.
haven't traveled up there, but I do intend on going.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
usually with that, if you're actually going to attend a show, you have to be invited
Oh, you do?
by a designer. Yes, you can't just, I mean, they have different independent things going on in New York, aside from the main Mercedes-Benz Fashion
Yeah.
Week and things like that. They also have like independent designers doing different things.
Okay.
But then again, I have to be up there
Mm.
around that time. And I just haven't been able to travel up north, but I do plan on going.
Okay.
I stay local right now.
I understand. Now, tell me, what was London like? What is their fashion like?
Oh, they are pretty creative.
Are they?
They're risque. I noticed that in some aspects, they're a bit more they're a bit more daring than we are. Like, we're kind of conservative. We might be, I'm not speaking about New York, of course, like they're gonna
Do New
be
York.
daring. But as in terms of just nipple showing, things like that, you might have a sheer blouse there. You see people walking down the runway showing everything up here.
Really?
But they don't have any kind of reserve for that really. They just, they're like, it's fashion. Versus here, was it Kendall or Kylie Jenner? I can't remember which one. She's the model of the family. She wore a top she walked a runway for a designer, and her top was sheer. You could see her chest, and it was kind of an uproar. I don't know if it's because she was a Kardashian, related Kim Kardashian, or it's because the actual outfit, but things like that have happened. And so just to answer the question you said, they are more daring. They do tend to be pushing the envelope a little more. But then again, America's known for having its own style. Okay. They're the innovators, but we're known for having our own style. I don't know what that means to them, but we do things our way. Okay. And we've crafted a vibe. And so I'd say we are respected, definitely, but in Europe, when it comes to fashion, they're like, okay, we had the first fashion council. The only reason why America even had a fashion week was just because fashion, if you wanted to view fashion and new designers, you had to like take a boat or whatever.
Really?
To England, to France, yeah. And so people would travel there, but unfortunately not everyone had that budget, not everybody had that convenience. So a PR person actually created Fashion Week. It was Mercedes-Benz, but she created Fashion Week so that the buyers and the media here had somewhere to go to view fashion.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's some interesting information. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay. Well, listen, tell me a little bit more about Miss Quirky. How did you get started? I understand you went to school for it, you've traveled and you've seen and experienced it, but what made you actually say, you know what, I'm about to step out and do my own writing and show my own mindset and views? How did Miss Quirky come about?
Oh, wow. Well, I just had a lot to say about fashion. As with any writer, you start out with your own website. You start out blogging.
Okay.
And I just did it for fun, but then people really liked my writing. And so I said, let me see something. I started writing more, then I started getting paid for it, then I started getting recognized. And I can tell you this much, you have to definitely start small and then give yourself time to develop as a writer. I've done over 300 written articles for various publications, websites, online retailers, and so you have to pay your dues, you do, but there's nothing wrong with that. You have to build yourself as a writer. You're not going to be at that professional level when you start. I would suggest people not to let patience get the best of them. Give yourself time to grow. There's plenty of time. If you're interested in being a writer, the beauty of it is that there's no age limit or expiration date. You can become a writer at any age you want. Okay? There's plenty of time to do everything, and there is so much to write about. Fashion, definitely. But if you love botany, writing about plants, if you like writing about cars, there is a market for you. But I honestly suggest starting niche. Because there are so many writers who just, I'm just going to write. Of course, when you're a writer, you can write about anything. I'm a fashion writer, but that doesn't mean I can't write about food. It doesn't mean I can't write about entertainment music. That doesn't mean anything. But what I suggest to be the strongest writer you can is to focus on your passion. And so I suggest not to be a jack of all trades. Be a master of one thing and then let it guide you. If you are writing about cars, but then you write about food, and then all of a sudden you're getting recognized for that, okay, then that's the path you're going on and you can go. But I'm so passionate about fashion and just everything about colors, fabrics, textures, silhouettes, you name it, that is what drives me. Because believe it or not, what I'm discovering is that a lot of people don't like to write.
Really?
And that's unfortunate because I love it. Growing up as a gift, like the main thing that my family would give me was just journals, blank pages. I loved it. I wrote a journal for every year of my life. I just had to write. To a point where I feel like if I didn't have a journal, I'd probably be writing on the walls. No, seriously. But I mean, that's just me being dramatic.
Do you still have those?
Yes, I do.
That's good. Do you ever go back and refer to them, read over your life? And
Yes. Oh, to be a teenager.
Yeah, yes.
A lot goes through your head.
Yeah,
in your 20s and everything, and it's just like, wow, what was I thinking? But it was always an outlet, no matter what was going on in my life.
Okay.
Writing saved me. Whether it was happy, sad, good, bad, I wrote it.
You got it out.
And so writing is just something I absolutely love, and I'm fortunate to like something that a lot of people don't care to do themselves.
Cool. Now, for someone like me who isn't fashion driven, I like to see it, but it's not something, I'm the type to just, if it matches, I'm going to go with it. Is your blog, if I was to look up what you have done, would it give me a more insight on like what trend I may like? What does it break down different kind of culture? How does that work? For someone like me who's not really too entertained by fashion, how would it draw me into your writing?
If you're not too entertained about fashion and you come to quirkybombshell.com, then you're probably going to be more interested in the services I provide. Okay. You're probably someone who is in the business of fashion and you want to know how I can help you.
Okay.
I do have a blog aspect of my site, but it's only to show people that I do keep up with my industry and I do have tips, I have insight. But if you're not a fashion focused person, you definitely have a place at my website because then you can see my portfolio and you can just see the different companies I work for. Kids wear, bridals wear, men's wear, shoes, hats, what accessories, clothing, whatever. And so as far as the trends though, I don't consider myself a blogger. And I know a lot of times the bloggers will talk about trends, they'll do their little outfits. Yeah. I don't specifically do that, but I do do articles on Fashion Week for LA and things like that. I do have people who send me images since I can't actually travel to LA right now.
Gotcha.
They send images, they send different content. I can help people in that aspect. Cool. But I actually do plan on writing another PDF about the trends and what I notice, because people still ask me that, and I can't deny that aspect of what I do.
Okay.
Because I do know firsthand what trends are going to be popping up in retail stores. I do have a lot of fashion business advice to give too. And so I know I have a lot to offer, and so I definitely will be offering more PDFs and ebooks. And so I guess to answer your question, look out for the ebooks. I will have more content on the trends and just different aspects of the industry.
Cool. Now, for them to reach you, could you tell them your Facebook, your Instagram, your website, all your information so my guests can plug you in?
Okay, definitely. It's www.quirkybombshell, that's QUIRKYBOMBSHELL.com. When you go to my website, you'll see all my social media buttons. Please feel free to join me on my social media, Facebook, Twitter. I do have a YouTube channel, but I'm still working on updating that with new content. When I go to the shows, sometimes I'll film, record, interview designers.
Okay.
I do plan on actually adding that more. So that specifically is not ready, but everywhere else, please feel free to follow me. And also take advantages of my services if you're an e-commerce website for fashion, or if you're an online publication, or if you're a designer or anyone in the fashion industry who needs writing work. You can also find my services there and where to contact me.
Okay, and as you know, I will have her information streaming below. So if you miss it this time, then you will be able to catch it throughout the interview. So that way you can plug with her, connect with her, and as she has stated, you can actually use her services as well. So that is wonderful, because it sounds like it's great, everything that you're doing. So let me ask you, who's your favorite designer? Do you have a favorite or one that you just love to see?
I make it a point, I can tell you this much, as a fashion writer, if you are someone who is in fashion and you can't name 30 designers off the top of your head, I don't know. But I will say my favorite, oh my gosh, you'll probably be surprised, but it is Betsy Johnson.
Really?
I absolutely love how daring she is. I like her cartoonist style. I like the crazy things she does. I have a purse by her that's fashioned into a hamburger. And so
Really?
it looks like a hamburger. I just love, I love her work. And I know a lot of people are like, ooh, this stuff is not, but it's definitely Quirky Bombshell material.
But I haven't heard no one say her name in a long time. I went to school for interior design. And we actually had to learn about different designers as well as in fashion, as well as in architecture. And that was a name that always coming up. And they were talking about how her trend is starting to grow, but it was so unique, people tend to stray from it. So yeah, big ups to that.
Definitely.
That's cool. That's cool. So do you think people have, like how you like her, it's like your inner personality that you can't show and talk about, so you use that designer to help you illustrate?
Definitely. She is someone, because I can tell you this much, if the opportunity comes where somebody wants to collaborate with me to make a fashion collection or something, because I do plan, I have big hopes for my career. I want to do collabs with Mac, I want to do collabs with Nasty Gal, I love that, but it would have to be a collab because I can't design clothes. And I had to, what's interesting is that was what my degree was in, but I can't imagine sitting there and doing the sketch and having the collection myself. If I had another designer to help me along, that's fine, but there's a reason why I'm a writer, because I'll admire your work. I don't know if I'm into creating like something by myself and sewing and things like that. But to answer your question, she is definitely an outlet for me, because I'll go into her store and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at these. I absolutely love her accessories. Her accessories are so creative, so bonkers, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So definitely, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. She is an outlet for me to express my fashion inspiration. So what I say, I'm like, oh my gosh, is that a book purse? I have to have it. I'm actually in the process of purchasing it on her website. There's this soda pop purse. I absolutely love her accessories. So yes,
That's cool.
she definitely embodies the Quirky Bombshell idealism that I have. So yes.
Okay. Have you met any of these designers that you have written about?
The only designer I met was actually when I was attending college in London. I actually met Alexander McQueen before he died, and it was at his nightclub. And I remember I was dancing on the stage. It was when I was in my 20s. I was dancing on the stage, and I noticed someone kept looking at me, and I was like dancing, showing off.
Yeah.
And then here comes my friend at the time. She was my roommate. She goes, "Do you know who that is?" I was like, I couldn't see because the club is dark, and the lights.
Yeah.
And she was like, "That's Alexander McQueen." I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, Alexander McQueen!" And then I went over and I said hi.
Okay.
And he was super nice. Super nice, but of course he had his entourage with him.
Of course.
And when you're approaching celebrities or people who are well known for things, you want to tread carefully. I didn't want to come off as some kind of groupie like, Alexander McQueen, but he was there. He was super nice, super chill, and he had his assistant. I'd like to say the designer that took over his business now, the one I think her name is I forgot her name, but she's the one who's designing for his company now, and I'd like to say she was with him that night.
Okay.
But I can't remember. Like I said, I'm not going to say definitely just because it was dark. But when I actually went up to him, I saw him. And he was actually skinnier in real life.
Is he?
There. I think he gained weight after I met him, but he was actually thin. It was his club. He was chill. And like the club was amazing. I loved it. But he was like, "I like your dancing." I was like, McQueen likes my dancing. Okay. And that was my first. That's probably my first and only actual meeting designers. But I think it's just because I haven't been in the location. Maybe if I'm in New York, I'll bump into more.
Of course.
But London, since he lives in London. His business is in London.
Right.
Got that opportunity. So
that's cool.
That was my memory. So of course I was very sad when he died. Just because just being around him, he was just a very nice person. He didn't even give off that vibe of, "Ooh, I'm a world famous designer. I'm talented. I'm an icon." And no, he was just a normal person. The way he was dressed was normal too. It wasn't like he was.
All his fashion. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was probably his line he was wearing, but he looked like a normal person.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, because the stereotype automatically is like they're just completely over the top all the time. Like glitter and gigantic arm pads and that serious, straight, hard face. So.
Right, but not him. He was very, chill.
Cool. Well, that's all that matters. That's what's up. Well, I wonder what they think about when they read your blogs and your writing, because I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh, you know what? I make sure, as a critic, I'll tell you one thing. Kathy Horn is known for really, really going there. Okay. I know she's the only one who challenged Anna Wintour. And Anna Wintour she is Miss Fashion. Like, she's up there. She's connected. She's the one who you don't really want to mess with. But Kathy Horn, she was daring, and she said, "Hey, the September issue, the movie, and your actual September issue of Vogue is nothing but ads." And she went there, and she's still getting invited to shows, but some shows she's been banned for, and it's because she was a bit too frank. I don't believe in bashing anyone's art. Fashion, like beauty, is subjective. Okay, so no one's opinion is the right opinion. I'm going to make sure that I am honest, but I'm not going to be rude.
Okay.
I don't think that gets you anywhere. I mean, you might get that wow factor, and you might get the haters coming along like, "Yeah, you're right." But in the end, will that serve you any good to not be a critic? And she's been accused of not being fair. I just think she just has a frank personality, and she tells it like it is. But with me, if I do tell it how it is, I'm going to do it in a respectable manner. Okay. I'm not going to say for the rest of my life if I see something, like I say, if I see something that I don't agree with, I'm going to express myself, but there's a certain tact you have to have.
Yeah.
Because you never know who knows who.
That's true.
And like I said, I'm not going to be someone who just, "Oh, I'm scared to say this because I don't know if so-and-so will like it." No, I'm not afraid of anyone, but I will make sure that I'm doing my readers justice by being honest, but in a respectful manner.
Cool. That's all that matters then.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. So where do we want to take Quirky Bombshell within the next 5 years?
I want to do more collaborations. I want to do more writing. I want to have an agency. I want more people to have an opportunity to write and do what they love. Because I know there's people out there who love fashion just as much as I do, and they might feel downtrodden. They might not know where to start. They might not feel that where they are will give them that opportunity to thrive. Because although Atlanta is mainly known for music and other things, we do have a little bit of fashion here. I'm fortunate to live in a city that there's a lot of things going on here, a lot of things coming here. You know, it's a hot city. Atlanta is. Everyone knows that. But if you're in Wichita, Kansas, or Idaho, or something like that, I don't want people to feel like they're at a disadvantage. You have to find a way if it's what you love. You don't have the money to move to Atlanta or Miami, LA, or New York. Okay, I understand. But we have the internet, okay? And the young people have so many advantages that I did not have.
Right.
You have the internet. You have ways to market your clothing. You have ways to reach people.
That's true.
And so take advantage of that. Find creative ways to make your dream happen. And what I want to do is show people that you can make a living off of being a fashion writer. A lot of the times when I tell people I'm a fashion writer, they get wide-eyed. They're like, oh! Or you can do that? You do that full time? Does that work? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's possible. You might have to, in the beginning, it might be tough. It's going to be tough. But you have to build yourself and you have to build your reputation. I want my career to inspire others to step forward and do fashion writing if that's what interests them. And not just fashion writing, if you're a music writer. There's different writers. You could be a porcelain cup writer. Okay, you could do anything you want. But you have to start. You have to have the courage to start, and you have to have the courage to know your worth.
Right, right. So do you have a good support team behind you?
I definitely do. I have my husband. He is absolutely perfect. I love him.
He's actually at the building. He is great. He taught us to sit straight and everything. So she does have that.
Yes, I have the support system. My family, I have loved ones, and I'm just so very thankful for them. But you know what? At the end of the day, I don't rely on anybody else to push me but me. When I wake up, what I do, my drive, it's all me. It has to be you. It has to start. And that's why I encourage you to go after your passion, because that's your engine. That is going to be the thing that makes you wake up. I know that even with what you do, it's not easy. You have to get up, you say, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And what drives you? The love for what you do. And so you learn, you expand your knowledge, you do what it takes. And so, yeah, drive, it's your passion.
That's true. I can say, being an entrepreneur, as we both are sitting here, one thing that I've learned about this path is conditioning. I have had to really, truly condition myself to make the next step, because you defining who you are by how hard you go for it. So I respect you, because I know how that is. And for the young individuals, or any individual that's watching that wants to do what she is doing, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. You have to have the passion, and you can do it, and you can make it happen. And you have to push and drive and believe in yourself first. So I thank you for telling them that.
And also, just a lot of the times you can expect instant gratification.
Yes.
What you need to, if you're trying to start as a writer, fashion writer, whatever, you have to go after your first yes. Your first yes is your first person to, I'm sure as a writer you want to get paid. I mean, come on, let's face it now, you want it. You go after your first yes. You push yourself. You say, hey, don't be afraid to tell people what you do. Say, I'm a writer, I'm a fashion writer, I do this and do it. Speak. Even if that person might not need you, that person more than likely knows someone who, hey, okay, I know someone who has a store, or I know somebody who's doing this. Tell people what you do, and then you work. When you get that first yes, when you get that first call, or somebody say, hey, do you write because I need this done? You get that first yes, and you wow them. I don't care what you have to do, because that is the first person who is the foundation to what you are going to develop. into. And that person is very important. They gave you a chance. So many people, you need to be, I understand there's other people out there and you want to give your money to them or you want to give your time to them, but there are so many other people who need you more. And so you need to wow them because they're taking a chance with you. And once you get that first yes, you wow them. I'm talking about bend over backwards. Because when you do, when you deliver that exceptional work, they're going to be happy and then they're going to spread the word.
Yes.
With me, the way I started is I got my first yes as a fashion writer from a photographer who he shoots models, so he's into fashion. He said, hey, you do writing? I was like, yes, this was years ago.
Okay.
And he said, okay, let's see what you got. I did that one. I did whatever it took, okay, to please that person. He liked it, and then all of a sudden other people, hey, you do this, you do that. And here I am, over 300 articles later.
There you go.
And the thing about it, before he gave me that chance, I was downtrodden. I was like, what am I doing? I'm just going to quit. But out of nowhere he came. I want to address again that if it's something that you're meant to do, the opportunities will come up. No matter how hard you try to deny it, that one thing is going to be probably the only thing that brings you joy or even income. Like you just notice that, okay, no matter what I'm doing, even because I've had other jobs too, and I've had to support myself, but no matter what, I always got writing work, no matter what it found me. So it's just, you have to just keep focused, keep positive, and go for that first yes. And when you get that first yes, you run with it, and then more will come.
Okay.
More opportunities.
Hey, you heard it. This is the fashion writer of Atlanta. So we thank you, Ms. Quirky Bomb, for that. That is beautiful. And I really hope that y'all are paying attention and listen. And I hope y'all actually tune in with her and follow her because you are on your way.
Yes.
And you are making waves.
Definitely.
So that's great. That's great. Now, I do have a segment that I want to actually partake in.
Okay.
It's called Word for Word.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is I'm going to ask you one word and you tell me the first word that comes to your mind.
Uh-oh. I will.
Okay.
Sounds good.
There's no right or wrong. It's just all you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Love.
Husband.
He's blushing, y'all. That's cute. Power.
Fashion.
Money.
Fashion.
Fame.
Fashion.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not the first time I
Spirituality.
Love.
That's good answer. Black.
People. That's the first thing that came to my head.
Revolution.
Innovation.
Good answer. Malcolm X.
Iconic.
And my most important, Quirky Bombshell.
Fashion writer.
I love it. I love it. Oh, Miss
That was
Quirky.
fun.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad. I thank you for coming out. I thank you for taking out your time.
Thank you. I absolutely love your show. I absolutely love you.
Thank you.
And people might not know, but I saw her at an event that she was attending. It was like a body and art. And she just has so much energy, so positive. And I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to be here with you. And really grateful that you decided to give me a chance to be a part of the Funky J Cafe.
Oh, girl. Well, the Funky J thanks you and we give you homage because you took time out your busy day and you actually called. You know, you wanted to come out and I appreciate you for that. And I have to have you back in 6 months. I don't care if you are at New York Fashion Week, I will come to you and we will sit down and we will do a follow-up interview. And I just pray for so much success with everything that you're doing.
Thank you so
you deserve
much.
it.
Thank you so much.
You are blessed.
Likewise.
Thank
definitely. You just continue to just give great quality and so much opportunity.
Thank you. I will. I will. We had our moment and we deserve it. Well, I want to thank my wonderful guest for letting us come into your wonderful world once again for another week. And I do hope that y'all take from this interview because everything that she has given was nothing but pure knowledge and pure blessings if you want it. Again, her information will be streaming below, so you will be able to contact with her, tune in with her, follow her, and get wonderful fashion advice, business tips, galore. So I want to thank you again, and thank you one more time, Mama.
Thank you
for coming out.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Make it fun. Make it fun. Make it